Last night, the MMA world finally got what everyone had been waiting for. But for everything to work out, it all depends on this guy right here, Belal Muhammad.
Lastly for Dana, Ilia Topuria did an interview a few minutes ago where he said the winner of this fight is going to determine whether he fights Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira on International Fight Week. Can you confirm that that's the stakes attached to this main event too?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts right now, and yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It's unanimous. The MMA world can't wait for the fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria to be made official for the lightweight title. One of the reasons everyone wants to see this fight is simply because the tension between the two fighters has been heating up more and more, especially with statements like this one.
Your matchup with Makhachev, where do you have the advantage and where does he?
This is what I told you. You ask me, I feel that I have the advantage in everything. This is what I truly believe. Me personally, I would ask him, like, what's your favorite submission? Dark choke. I'm gonna submit you with that.
So if you ask him what his favorite submission is, you would do that to him?
Yeah.
This is a guy that's trained and coached by Khabib, who, 28-0, stories that he's never lost a round in his life.
I take him close to Khabib. I will submit him closer to Khabib.
You'll submit him in front of Khabib?
Yeah. I take him. Khabib used to take people in his shoulder, take them down and talk to Dana. I would do it to Khabib. Like, I will take him, bah.
And then talk to Khabib.
Talk to Khabib. Khabib, I have to do it.
And yesterday was a big day for the fans, who, in addition to a major statement from Dana, also got plenty more from Ilia Topuria on a show last night. He took the opportunity to throw jabs at Islam Makhachev and also dropped a strong statement about Charles Oliveira, who could be his opponent if Makhachev moves up a division. Let's take a look now at all of El Matador's statements that have been making serious waves. But first, one quick thing. If you could help out, hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Thank you so much. First, Ilia Topuria made a pretty bold statement, taking shots at Makhachev, and also revealed that he's still waiting to find out who his next opponent will be. But he said he's not worried because no matter who it is, he knows he's going to finish his opponent. He also said that until the day he retires, no one will ever be able to beat him in MMA. I still don't know who I'm going to fight. If we analyze the two names, Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira, Makhachev is a striker who leans towards wrestling and the ground to control. Charles Oliveira leans more towards submissions. One is a southpaw and the other is orthodox. The takedowns are different, the movements are different, the stance, the height. Being bigger doesn't necessarily mean a disadvantage. Islam will try to take me down, but between trying and actually doing it, there's a big difference. No one has ever faced someone like me. Having two disciplines is no longer enough to become world champion. You have to be physically and mentally unbreakable. Be in top form, and with the 8 centimeters Islam has on me, there's not much he can do. I like that he's Russian. He doesn't intimidate me. I do everything I can. I'm not too worried about losing the undefeated record because I know it'll be my companion until the day I leave this sport. I already know I'm going to win. I wouldn't show up to a competition if I didn't know I was going to win. When asked whether he believes Islam Makhachev is afraid, Ilia Topuria didn't hold back and fired a harsh response about the champion, saying that Makhachev will probably want to run straight back to Russia the moment he feels Topuria's power. I don't think he'll even get to touch my legs because once he feels me, he'll want to go back to Russia. I think Islam is trying to change weight classes. He's having the same issues as me with the weight cut. He's already been world champion. He's defended it many times, and I think he's looking for a challenge, but he hasn't had the same courage I've had. If he's trying to change divisions, make way for those who are chasing their dreams, and move forward, why does he want to cling to the belt? Does the belt make you who you are? I don't like to say he's afraid because for them it's very natural to step into the octagon, but he's being cautious because he knows I'm going to beat him. Because if it were that easy, In his last fight, he was scheduled to fight another guy, Tsarukyan, and he accepted a fight with someone else, Moicano, on short notice because he was really convinced he was going to win. But it's not the same case with me. Topuria's statements don't exactly shock anyone. The Georgian is known for talking like this before fights. What's impressive is that he usually backs it up, and he's even commented on that himself.
I'm so excited. That's why me, if someone asked me, like, I would love to fight with Islam. That will be a great one, because I really know that I have the ability to shock the world. Because I know that for me, it's gonna be like, I know that I'm gonna beat him, but for the world, it's gonna be like just what happened. The same thing that happened with Volk, the same thing that happened with Max Holloway. No one never knocked him out. No one did it. And it was like a surprise for everyone. But me personally, I always knew it. Before I walk in the octagon, I was like, thanks God to give me the opportunity to be the first one to knock him out.
Charles Oliveira is waiting on a call from the UFC while preparing for a potential fight with Ilia Topuria, which may or may not actually happen. So Topuria also took the opportunity to talk about the Brazilian and threw some shade at the former lightweight champion with the following. I spoke some hard truths to Charles Oliveira. I told him the truth. He used to fight in the same division I come from, and he was never able to be world champion. He racked up a lot of losses, changed weight classes, and did pretty well. What he couldn't achieve at featherweight, he went and got it at lightweight. And then he says the toughest fights are here. But you've got 10 losses. Better for you to stay in your seat and wait for the call, if it ever comes. I feel more confident at lightweight because this is the weight class I belong in. At featherweight, I had to push myself to limits that are not normal. There's no resentment that comes from the heart. Everyone's fighting for their families. I'm fighting for mine. At the end of the day, it's still a sport. We are colleagues. First and foremost, I fight for myself. It's what I've loved doing since I became aware of myself. And then obviously I do it for my family, which is a huge driving force. Now, it all depends on Belal Muhammad, and the entire MMA community is rooting for him to come out victorious so that the highly anticipated fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria can finally happen. And on that note, Belal himself shared his thoughts. I would never fight Islam Makhachev because that's the difference between him and me, and I know it's his right, but when we've trained together, when you're sweating with someone or bleeding with someone, when you train like that with someone, that's a different kind of relationship. It wouldn't be something either of us would do for money. I would never want to fight him. They helped me a lot, so I'd rather go up to 185 pounds. In that case, we've talked about it. He said, "Oh man, you've ruined my plans. It's one of those things." Now they're waiting to see what happens this weekend, but I tell them, like, I would get your next fight signed because I'm not leaving Montreal without the belt. I'm still gonna be the champ. So start your camp right now. Whoever you have in line, whoever you have in store, you're good. Well, folks, it looks like the whole world's got its eyes on this fight between Belal and Jack, and the welterweight contender, who was often dismissed by the MMA community, has never had this many people cheering for him. If you were a professional MMA analyst, what would your prediction be? Do you think Belal Muhammad beats Jack? And what about Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev? How do you see that fight ending? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can talk about it. If you're a true MMA fan and love staying updated on everything happening in the fight world, it's definitely worth checking out these 2 other videos on the screen. They're super important, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy them and stay well informed on the latest fight news. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to help get this content out there. See you next time.